wild and free and she want to be out here in these streets, but girl,
lawful wedded husband.
To be my...
I'm 13. How Barbertine's hard
with a tramp like you?
Well, I know it hurts being third rate, but aren't you accustomed to it yet?
Oh, Robin, I see you.
I baptized myself the slut of Springfield!
Son of a bitch in here. I found out myself what love is all about.
hey everybody, it's me, Nikki. Vanessa and Nicole meet up to the Uptown to talk about Doug. But at first, Nicole is complaining about Andre and Danny. And I'm still on the fact that she is jealous because she wants to be young, wild, and free. So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke trees. We just having fun. We don't care who sees. She wants to be young, wild, and free, and she want to be out here in these streets. But girl, the streets don't love nobody, and you gonna want to spin the block on your old thing. You gonna want that old thing back. And Vanessa was like, I don't know nothing about that, and she goes on to tell her about what happened to Doug. And she was like, the last time I talked to him was him saying he was going to play a high stakes poker game, and I told him, hell to the no. What the hell you think you doing? She didn't say that, but that's what I heard. And he walked out after calling her everything but a child of God. Okay, he didn't call her everything but a child of God, but that's what I heard. Okay, that's what I heard. And Nicole has to tell her that, you know, it was a therapy session, but he did talk to me about a few things. And she was like, I always thought he was working so much and taking on extra shifts because, you know, he liked it, but he was trying to catch up, but he was also falling apart. And it got so bad that I had to cover, you know, his debt and everything. And she's just crying and she's having the worst time of her life. Okay, she's feeling guilty and she still don't have the damn ring on. She still don't have her damn ring on. And she was like, I had to tell the kids. Now, the police kept Doug's name out of the reports and out of the news so she could go tell her children. Their son has been in France for study abroad. So that's why we have yet to meet the son. Like, they didn't come home for the summer. He just made it back to the States for his next semester at the college. So the dean is going to call the twins into his office or their office so Vanessa can make her way down to the campus to tell them what happened. And the bad thing is, the son and Doug hadn't seen each other for a very long time because he was over in France. So Vanessa has to make that drive, and Nicole says, I'm going to make the drive with you. I'm going to take you so you don't have to do it yourself because you don't need to be behind the wheel of a car right now. And Vanessa is just reeling. She was like, he had issues with gambling, and then he was drinking, and I don't know why he got into that car. And ultimately, we know he didn't actually put himself into that car. And who the hell knows? Maybe Boozy Susie Doug ain't really gone up yonder to be with the Lord or anything. Like, you know, Mara gonna be if she keep fooling with Big Jeep and the rest of the horror movie crew. Okay, child is a mess. You know what's also a mess? The fact that some of y'all have yet to register for that the contests that are happening in y'all states, and the contest that's gonna happen next November. That is a mess right there. I wish y'all would register for the contest and get all your stuff in order. I really wish y'all would do that. But moving on, speaking of messes, Nicole goes to get some of her stuff and cancel her appointments so she could drive Vanessa to the campus. So Vanessa calls Jan, and Jan is at Orphe Jeans with Mona. Mona and Jan is talking about the fact that Wig has had a windfall of money, and Jan is kind of acting like maybe they should have stayed friends. And Mona was like, I couldn't do it because I couldn't be friends with her and still walk into Nicole's house every day and go to work. And I was like, I'm with Mona. I keep my job before I keep a friend who is doing X, Y, and Z to hurt people because I could be the next person she hurt. When y'all make excuses for y'all friends when they do BS like Wig, y'all gonna be ending up the next victims. I got some gin in my sister. Somebody gonna be my victim. That's the song Wig sings in her head every single day. Okay? So as they talking down to the Orphe Jeans about, you know, Wig and her windfall of money, Mona, you know, lets Jan know about Andre and Danny going off and eloping in Vegas. And when she lets her know that, in walks Vanilla Bean Ashley. Now, Vanilla Bean Ashley hears this and she's mannequin challenge stuck. And it's just like somebody's jealous. And I see it. It's written all over your face. You don't have to say a word because it's written all over your face how stuck you is because you wanted that to be your man. You wanted that to be your husband. You wanted to run off to Paris and Vegas and so on and so forth with that man. But it ain't going to happen because your guilt and the guilt you allowed your mother to lay upon you and the guilt you allowed Vanilla Earl to lay upon you has you tied to a man who's still sitting up here lying about the feeling he has in his leg and then threatens Shanice with HIPAA violation if she tells you, and then is over here talking crazy, to Boy Scout Jacob, because Jacob told him, I don't know what you thought you heard, but I'm not lying to my wife for months until you're able to get up and walk at your wedding. Oh, hell to the no. When this blow up, I'm not going to be one of them people who get in trouble by their wives. You need to find you a different moral compass. And Jacob pointed out exactly what it is. Vanilla is holding all this in and he refuses to tell Ashley that he is getting some type of feeling back into his legs and he's threatening, Shanice and also with HIPAA violation if she tells and also, kind of threatening Jacob low key because he wants to hold Vanilla Bean hostage. He feels like if she knows he can feel sensations in his legs just a little bit, that she's going to pack up her bags, ease him on down the yellow brick road, and send him in that ratty, ugly chair on about their way, and that she's only with him for the guilt. That is how he feels, and that is why he's holding her hostage. And he believes that she's just going to stick around until he can walk again and throw him away like yesterday's leftovers. Okay, and I don't even know why y'all don't eat y'all leftovers and y'all just throw the stuff away. You can get a couple days out of leftovers, but that's just my opinion. And that is not the case. She seemed to love you, allegedly. Her mama did guilt her into being with you and basically said, you don't want Andre, you want a Derek. Derek is stable. Andre is, flimsy. Derek is everything you need in a man, and Andre is just the wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You want the everything you need. That's a good man, Savannah. The mama you men is basically how I felt about how Jen was talking about Vanilla Earth to Vanilla Bean. So everybody's getting the news that Boozy Susie Doug then went up yonder to be with the Lord, allegedly. Who's doing the body? I said Willie Watkins. I know Willie Watkins is going to do the body. I know it. Willie Watkins do good work. But who doing food at the repast? I said somebody called Miss Nita's homegirls from Chicago, not to articulate somebody else to come do the food. And you know what? Even though I'm not a big fan of Wig, I know she could throw down in the kitchen. Her and Miss Nita could get up in there and cook some good ass food for that repast. Anyway, everybody's getting news about Boozy Susie Doug. Jan goes to get Vanessa's wallet because Vanessa called her and asked her to get her wallet from the house so she can make the trip to go see the kids. Jan brought the wallet, brought the wallet to her uptown and told her, whatever you need, I'm here for you. And Vanessa introduces Jan to Timu Tony Soprano because he was like, I heard your phone on the voice. No, I heard your voice on the phone and I just had to come check on you. And she was like, oh, this is my associate, Timu Tony Soprano. And Jan is looking like, associate my ass. But Jan said, whatever you need, I take care of it. He offered to drive Vanessa to the campus to talk to the kids, and he'd just be at a coffee shop. And she was like, no need, my friend is going to take me. And also, it's better that Nicole is there because Nicole is a therapist, so she can help the kids through this. And he's like, I'm glad you have somebody there for you, someone to lean on, and I'm here if you need me. And they hug, and Nicole walks back in. Mind you, if we go all the way back to the beginning of the episode, Malone came down to the casino and basically said, when the money hit my bank account, I hurried up and typed up my retirement letter. I printed it off. So I'm going to retire. If you need me, I'll be rocked to sleep on the is his boat named Sheila? Sheila. Okay, and Joey was like, I don't know what you thought you was going to do, but retiring is not one of those things. And if you want to make it to retirement, you're going to be where I need you to be. And that's in town when I need you to go handle some business for me. I said, oh, hell. This is messy. This is going to blow up in everybody's faces. I feel it in my spirit. Andre came down to the hospital. Now, Shanice was trying to gauge what was happening with Vanilla Bean and Vanilla Herb, but Shanice is having a hard time not telling this lady that you have been tricked by this man to stand with you and being in this relationship because he's feeling sensations back in his legs. And Vanilla Bean, when Andre comes to talk to her and lets her know that he got married, She got an attitude with him, talking about, oh, it's not that serious between the two of y'all. Obviously, it is, and we're right where we're supposed to be. And he was like, I don't think you're right where you're supposed to be. I don't want you settling for something that you don't want when you could have something you do want. But she caught the attitude with him and walked away, and I was just like, ugh, attitude on high. Wig has decided she's going to move into the hotel while she bought Eva a condo and has convinced Eva that she needs to use her womanly wiles to go after Tomas and take him for Kat because that's what she needs. And I was like, you setting your daughter up for failure and you setting your daughter up for a Kat blow up, and I can't wait. And Kat, because Eva was kind of entertaining it, I was like, the next time y'all get on Kat for the way she talks to Eva or how she feels about Eva, I want us to go back to this, that Eva was entertaining this whole entire situation. Now, we all know Wig wants to move into the hotel so she can be close to Crew Neck Ted, and it's just like that's gonna blow up in y'all faces. She got some money for Peaches, so Peaches could get home health care, and also she rented her an apartment in the building that Eva's gonna be living in, and she wants to repay Peaches for her being a bad child when she grew up. But this gonna blow up in everybody's faces.